Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we're being joined by Awilda Rivera, author of Success Math and Millennials' Qualitative Approach. Awilda, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Paul. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
I am.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
I would tell them to make a plan and stick to the plan. And what I mean by that is if you have a word count minimum you're trying to reach, or if you have a chapter minimum, then really stick to writing X amount of words per day or per week. Even if you don't feel like you're making a lot of progress right at once, it will accumulate and you'll get to where you want to go. Too often I hear of authors who are working on books get burnt out because they are trying to produce too much in too few spurts, whereas I feel like if you do a little bit less more consistently, you will get there faster.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
I think it's twofold. Number one is actually being done with the project, letting the project go out of your hands. And the second thing would be really coming to a decision for yourself about which mode of publishing would be best for you, whether it would be some type of self-publishing or, going the traditional route of looking for a publisher.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Yeah, so right prior to my book coming out, I did use the pre-sale method where you really bring attention to the book before its release date via email to my mailing list, on my social media platforms, and really encouraging people to get the book before it came out. Once it came out, another strategy that I've used that has gotten a lot of eyes on the book is a strategy that a lot of authors utilize, which is when you write for anything else as a part of your shirt tail, which is a little blurb about the author, you create a link that brings them to a landing page with a call to action to purchase your book. You capture their email and their name there, and perhaps you might even entice them with some excerpt from the book for them to kind of get hooked.
So where are you putting this information in? Are these in like different blogs, posts, magazine articles, emails? Where are you putting those?
All
That's
of that.
a great idea.
All of that. Yeah, all of that. So when you for example, anyone that's listening should know that there are several free writers platforms out there where you can garner more exposure, such as, depending on the topics that you're writing in, Thrive Global, Medium, Elephant Journal, and those are just some of the more popular ones that have a very good reputation. Lifehack. And so when you write for those publications, you have a little bio that you create. And when you create that bio, you can create a powerful call to action in just those 3 lines with a hyperlink that then has a landing page with your information on it.
So which are the main ones that you use? Because I've heard people talk about Medium, they've talked about Lifehack. Which are the ones that you focus on?
Yeah, so it's so funny, actually. Thrive, Medium, and Lifehack, I am a frequent contributor in all of those publications. So I have about 6 or 7 articles on Medium, just published one yesterday, actually. I have about 6 or 7 articles on Lifehack. And Lifehack, they have a bit of a different process. Medium and Thrive, you kind of pick your own stories you want to write about and you write them. With a life hack, you have to kind of go through a little bit of a vetting process, and they provide you with the topics they would like you to write on.
Excellent. And how many of these posts have you done with them? How many articles have you created?
Oh, between these three platforms, probably close to maybe like close to 16, if not more than that, in the last several months. And I will say that I've definitely gotten a lot of clicks onto the landing page as a result of those shirt tails and the people getting content that is digestible and they like, which builds the know, like, and trust factor and makes them curious about what else I've done.
Excellent. Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Yeah, so there are a few. I'm not, as well read as some others out in the world, but one that has stayed with me and I've read a few different times is Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. Now, it's quite an old book. It tells the story of the life of Buddha, sort of in a novel format. And for me, the biggest lesson from that book that has stayed with me is that everyone has to really live their own path. You have to walk your own path. And no matter how much I'm or you may learn and want to help others avoid certain pitfalls, we can't live their or walk their path for them. We have to just offer the advice, offer the assistance, and keep on keeping on.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
My favorite quote is no one can tell your story, or no one can tell my story. And the reason why that's my favorite quote is because it just, even though it's very simple, it just reminds us that, we could be one of 100 people in a room having an experience, but no one has an experience quite like yours. No one has your perspective, and that's a perspective that is valuable and can resonate with and help many people.
Awilda, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me on my website at www.awildarivera.com, on social media at miss.awildarivera on Instagram, or Awilda Rivera Coach Yogi Spiritual Advisor on Facebook.
Awilda, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you, Paul. It's been my pleasure.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.